Hi, this is Robyn.
And this is Olivia, and you're listening to K-Pop Hot Sheet. Make sure to follow us on Instagram and YouTube at K-Pop Hot Sheet and rate us on Apple Music and Spotify if you enjoyed the show. So we got a fun kind of hot topic and MV reaction episode today. We're going to talk a little bit about attending Min's primetime album release party. This is Min from Miss A. Robyn and I got a chance to go there in New York. And then we're going to talk about a potential labor shortage in K-pop. ...
Oh.
And then watch some fun new music videos that I have not had a chance to watch. Have you watched Lisa's Rockstar yet, Robyn? Or is this both of us new?
It'll be both of us.
Okay.
No.
So
I haven't heard the song either.
Oh, great. So one of them we're both going blindly into it, and then the other ones we've either heard of it or watched a music video. So it'll be interesting to see. Okay, so let's start with Min. How fun was that? It's so nice to, have the chance to go to things like that in New York. And thank you for coming all the way up here on a hot, hot day.
Oh my God. Guys, it was blazing hot out. But yeah, we went to go see Min. She had an album release party on her birthday.
Oh, yeah, it was her birthday. I forgot.
Yeah. So it's one of those things where you can buy tickets, you go, and she did a little performance. They had giveaways. They were raffling off T-shirts. We did not win one.
I wanted one so badly.
I did too.
I love free shirts. I should have just bought one. I'm so cheap. I was like, nah, I want it for free. I want to win it.
When I was freezing on the very, very overly air-conditioned train ride on the way home, I was like, I wish that I had one of those cute T-shirts.
That's hilarious. You didn't tell me that.
So whatever. Next time we should just buy merch. We should know better.
We should just buy. I know, no regrets. We make enough money to buy merch. We can do it.
But yeah, it was in a cute little venue. So we were very close to the stage. Min was right there. She's so adorable. She's so sweet. She talked a lot about kind of what the album means to her and what primetime means, which she also said in a Billboard interview. So I'm going to kind of read her quote from the Billboard interview, which kind of sums up what she was saying at the release party as well. But the fact that the album is called Primetime, she says, quote, on the surface level, it's saying this is my prime time and you don't get to choose when my prime time is. No one gets to tell me when my prime time is. Internally, I felt like I was always... I can't read. Internally, I felt like I was very repressed in a way that I didn't really know I was repressed. I didn't speak my mind, give an opinion, or say my truth. I always felt like I had to listen to my elders and industry higher-up people who got to pick my time or choose what I do. End quote. So essentially, she's saying, everyone might think that at the height of Miss A, that was my prime time. Now, like, everything's downhill from there. That's the way people usually view anything. Like, if you achieve any form of success, whether it be in popularity and fame or money or just career accolades, everyone always wants to say, like, that's your peak and you'll never get back to that. But I think what she's really trying to say is, you don't get to choose when my peak is. If my peak time is me doing what I want to do independently on my own and being an artist, who has full artistic control over my output, then that's my prime time.
Right.
Like, I'm owning that. I'm defining it for myself. So go, Min. I'm here for it.
And that's so beautiful when you put it like that, right? Because, yeah, if you define someone's prime time as, okay, you had all the fame in the world. You were in JYP, one of the biggest entertainment agencies, you're releasing out music, your Miss A was pretty big back then, like, okay. But as she's looking back and she's like, well, I wasn't really doing what I wanted to do. I didn't speak my mind or give opinions to what we were doing. I was just doing what they were telling me to do. That doesn't feel like success to her, right? Like, everyone defines success in their own way. So like you said, like, even now, like, she's an independent artist, she might make it really big, she might not, who knows, or it might take her a while. You might have to release a few EPs to, like, get, the word out there. and get your popularity kind of back in the game. But if you're doing what you want to do and putting out the music you want to put out, like that might be success to you.
Yeah. And I really liked the songs. I didn't really know what to expect going into it, and I kind of maybe tempered my expectations a bit, but I was pleasantly surprised, honestly. I was grooving to
Yeah.
the songs live.
It was fun. I I mean I think I wasn't a huge fan like from the get-go on all the songs, but I still nevertheless like respect her hustle. Respect that she is putting herself out there even after all the things that she, talks about in that Billboard article. Like it's hard to be in a low place like that coming out from like quote unquote being in your prime time, and like JYP now like the contract didn't uh renew, like Miss A disbanded, so now it's like what's next type thing. It's hard to bring yourself out there, and a lot of artists don't, like they go on to just live like quote unquote normal non-celebrity life. But she took her time and she came back and she's doing what she loves, and that's very respectable.
Well, and what I really liked about the performance at the album release party, so her EP has 4 songs, is that right?
I th- I think it's 3 songs, and one of them is that interlude with her grandma, but I could be wrong. It could be 4 songs, but I just remember her singing 3 songs.
Yes, but at the end, as a little treat for everyone, she did sing at least part of Bad Girl, Good Girl
Oh
by
my
Miss
god,
A,
I
their
went
debut
feral.
song.
I went feral. That was the best part of the night. Like it was such a treat because
Well, and it's nice too, right? Because a lot of artists, they might not do something like that because they want you to
I didn't
be
expect
there.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't expect it either. They want you to be there for the new music. Like, it's not like, let's
Yeah, and she might have
cling on to the
felt
past and all of that. But
exactly. She might have been like, "Oh, well, I don't want to associate myself with that anymore, right? I just want to do my own music." But the fact that she kind of paid homage to that and is comfortable with that and is okay with that, like that's also so cool.
yeah, I thought that was really nice and it was fun.
And I
Um,
wonder if she got I was thinking during the time, I'm like, wouldn't she have had to have permission to play this? Because I know it's like, yeah, it's your group and stuff, but like you probably don't own the song unless she has writing credits, which I'm not sure if she does, but I would assume she would have had to get permission, which also is pretty cool that like JYP is like, yeah, sure, fine.
would she have to get permission
I
though? I don't know.
I would assume so, but maybe not, because I guess people do covers all the time, so maybe not. Maybe just me being crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. But apparently, according to the Billboard article, she still talks to JYP. She says she's still, I have such a big respect for JYP. We still talk. Um, but then, talking about kind of the past experience with Miss A and everything, I just want to read. I'm gonna kind of combine 2 quotes to get this full story here that we can talk about. But she says, "Quote." There are a lot of people working for one group, and I'm one of the artists. It isn't that my opinion doesn't matter. We listen to everyone's opinion to decide anything. But it also depends maybe how much money you make for the company. And then people might listen to you and your opinion would matter more. It's a big business with a lot of people needing to be paid. And maybe for some people, it's just a job. But for artists, it's their life. It's my life. Giving 14, 15 years of my life, I've wanted to release solo music, but it didn't fit and didn't happen. And then she continues to talk about the experience with Miss A, going on to say, quote, I didn't understand the fans' desire for us to be best friends. I think everyone wants that to be true, but I think it's just very unfair. If I understood that, I think I would have acted differently. I was just young and feel like I should have thought ahead. It's scary to be in front of people and on camera, and I would have acted smarter.
Yeah. Well, it is such a good point, and I think in general people do want that. Like you see BTS, and maybe BTS is not always best friends, but I think they've, like, through documentaries and stuff, they've still grown that respect about each other. It's not that they don't fight, but I think they're all very mature and emotionally mature in that sense, where like they're like, okay, but we're still like business partners, we're brothers, we've been through it all, like we'll get through this. But that doesn't mean you're gonna be lucky enough to get that type of relationship in every group, right? And especially like there's so many K-pop groups, like, and you're gonna, how many times we've seen articles on people like fighting or bullying scandals, or even like concerts, even with Blackpink, sometimes in concerts you'd see two of the members like kind of avoiding each other. Like, I don't know if you've seen videos on YouTube and stuff, people will have compilations of like, oh, maybe they're not friends or something. Like, it's bound to happen. Jessica from Girls' Generation like left the group, but it does play such a big role in K-pop that like just that image, like even if it's not true, when you're out in public or when you're doing an event, like you kind of have to just bite the bullet and be professionals. Like, let's say you're shooting a movie and like the actors don't get along, but when the screen is on, you're gonna have to fucking pretend and do the movie because like that's your job. So it's interesting for her to say that. Like, I wonder what she would have done differently. Does she think that she just like would have played it up more, like being more friendly with the group members, and back then felt like, oh, I don't need to do that, like I'm just gonna be me and be true to myself, which is respectable, but it's tough because then like did that ruin something, I don't know, within the group dynamics or popularity?
Yeah, and it's interesting because like one of the groups that I think of who was a JYP group, who I think had generally a great relationship, or at least portrayed it that way.
I know who you're gonna say.
GOT7.
Yeah, they're similar vibes to BTS. You see them now, and they act very loving with each other. I feel like they are also another one where it's genuine.
Yeah, but I think it also had to do with the fact that they all kind of banded against the company to an extent.
Yeah,
so maybe
common enemy.
Yeah, it might honestly just be the difference between a person who, I mean, Min has a lot of talent, like natural born talent that was not through just
yes, she was always
training.
The strongest singer. Like, I loved her. Strongest singer, strongest dancer. Like, she had that talent.
So I think that for her saying, but for artists, it's their life, it's my life. She's coming at it from, I'm an artist perspective, which I feel like a lot of the members of GOT7 are similar. Like, they've all gone off and done solo things. They all had their own sort of talent that they brought to the table that was, not to say God-given, but like, honestly, like, there's a lot of stuff.
God-given.
There's a lot of talent and skills that you can bring that you're not going to get taught within the trainee system. It just naturally comes to you. So perhaps, in Miss A, maybe there was a divide between the artists and the more, not to say like employees, but like worker bees that are like, I do what I'm told. I'm gonna follow the rules.
Yeah, and digging into a bit more what she said too, where she said there's a lot of people working for one group and I'm just one of the artists, right? And it's not that my opinion doesn't matter, but it depends on how much money you make for the company. And then people might listen to you and your opinion would matter more. And like, let's call a spade a spade. Like, I think it's a bit referencing to Suji because we know how more popular she was at the time from the group and how more popular and famous she is now, right? Like, when you look at Min, Faye, and Gia, like, they're not active anymore in Korea, but Suji is as an actress. And she released solo songs as well. So I think when she refers like, oh, when you make more money for the company, like, you have a bit more say and power to get more opportunities. And it is a bit unfair when you think about it like that, where it's like, again, like, it's a job and the company's like, okay, X artist is bringing us in more money, so we're gonna market them more, do more with them. Like, it's a business decision and it's understandable. But for someone like her, where it's like, well, I just want to try, right? Like, I'm an artist. Just let me record something. Like, they're not going to take that risk, right?
Yeah.
Unless they have something to back it up. And it's very sad.
Yeah. All because, you're not the girl on the soju posters, basically.
And you know
You're not
what?
the girl.
And again, not to like bash on Susie, but I remember myself back then, and I didn't
I'll
get
bash
it.
on her.
I didn't get
girl.
it. I was like, maybe she's a better actress now, but I'm like, you were not the best actress. Like, you're not that good. You were not
She
the
was
best
not
singer.
The best. Nope,
You're not the best dancer. Like, you just at the face. And like, okay, like, again, Yuna from Girls' Generation is my girl. And she also was pretty popular. She was the face, but wasn't the best. She was actually a good dancer, but wasn't the best singer. Wasn't the best dancer, but a good dancer. Wasn't a great actress, but she was so popular. But even so, it's not like she took away, though, from the people in Girls' Generation that also had that talent. They got their due time, right? Like, Taeyeon, like, didn't get overshadowed by Yuna's, like, fame. She still went on to do her solos, and Tiffany and everyone, right? So I think in that sense, like, they kind of did it right there. Even though it was like 9 girls, it was even more. They gave them the opportunities to like follow their own paths, and a lot of them are still very active in the industry.
Yeah.
So
well, anyway, great job, man.
We wish you all the best of luck.
Her.
Yeah, super proud, and I'm excited.
Everybody,
yeah, go ahead.
Go stream her album. Like, honestly, because just like us with our podcast, where we're like, please rate and review and do whatever. Like, it's hard when you don't have like the structure and the larger industry support system. So go stream her songs.
Yes, and I'm excited to hear what else she comes out with. I'll always take a listen. I'll always take a look. And maybe we'll go again if she does another event.
I would love to go to one of the dance classes. It just hasn't worked out timing wise.
Oh my god, we totally should do that. Although I would be flailing around, but let's do it.
Oh, girl, you and me both. But it would be so fun.
Yes.
All right. So our next topic, speaking of having the industry support of the illustrious and large until maybe now trainee system, there was an article in All K-Pop about the potential labor shortage in K-pop. So according to data released by the Korea Creative Content Agency, the number of K-pop trainees working for agencies has dropped 38.3% in just 2 years. So it went from almost 1,900 trainees in 2020 to 1,170 by the end of 2022. So I wonder how much, honestly, though, do you think COVID had anything to do with that?
What years was that? 2020. Yeah, that is true. Like, people were probably just not like going as much because they were at home. They don't mention that in the article.
They didn't mention COVID. I mean,
I guess you could, I wonder how COVID you could have still like auditioned virtually though, right? I'm sure they were still doing it.
They're talking about trainees working for agencies. So like being in the trainee system. Like, what was the trainee system like during COVID? I wonder.
Right. Maybe they thought like, okay, I'm wasting a year. Maybe there's pressure. Because I would assume that a lot of them could have been maybe debuting that year or maybe getting close to it. But then if like COVID's stopping everything and if you have no opportunities, you might get discouraged and your parents, your family might be like, go do something else, blah, 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 blah. Like, I'm sure that an effect. Maybe it wouldn't have dropped so drastically, but yeah.
Well, the article has some other reasons that maybe attribute to fewer trainees trying out. They say the number of trainees already with agencies that are voluntarily dropping out has also increased. So they're saying that the percentage of trainees making their debut as actual entertainers has decreased by about 20%. So it was around 80% in 2016. So if you were a trainee, essentially you had an 80% chance of debuting back in 2016. And then that dropped down to 65% in 2022. So, yeah, that's still a pretty healthy number, but it's getting closer to half. Um,
I'm not mad at it though. I just feel like it's so oversaturated and there's new groups popping out left and freaking right. I mean, just look at Hype having like 3, 4 girl groups out right now, which is insane. Like back in the day you would have one girl group out at a time, like, right? And like obviously eventually you get more, but like they would get their time to shine and be out for like a year or two, and then you'll have like the sister group debuting and some shit. But now you have like 3 at the same time, which is insane. Which, case in point, all the problems with New Jeans, La Seraphim, and Islet kind of being competitive with each other. So I'm kind of glad it's declining a little bit, so it can kind of slow down the roll and give some of the groups that are already out there a chance to shine.
yeah, and it's interesting too, and kind of, not to bring up Manheejun again, but her whole thing of like New Jeans is this very specific concept and people are stealing our concept and blah, blah, blah. Like, I miss back in the day when groups could just have more, like, be able to change their concepts more easily without everyone. And we'll talk about this later when we watch the WOOAH video, spoiler alert. But
Ooh, okay.
I think I think that people, I think that groups were allowed to switch it up a little more back in the day because it wasn't so oversaturated.
Yeah, now you have to, like you're saying, they have to stand out and keep to their image.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You kind of like find your little niche and you stick to it. But another reason pointed out in this article about potentially why there's a decline in the number of trainees is that career preferences of the kids are changing. So according to the annual survey released by the Ministry of Education, among the top 10 desired careers for elementary school students, a singer dropped from 6th place in 2009 to 9th place between 2019 and 2021. So it's still in the top 10.
Yeah,
now.
I would say it didn't drop much, but yeah. It's a drop.
Yeah. But then for middle school students, singer was ranked 7th most desired in 2009, dropped out of the top 10 since 2019. So as kids are getting older, especially high school students, have not included a singer in the top 10 rankings at all since 2009. So it's almost one of those things where when you're, and maybe it has to do with the reality of
adulthood.
Yeah, like when you're a kid, you're like, I want to be a doctor and a lawyer and an astronaut and an
of course
idol.
they want to be an idol, yeah.
But yeah, then as you get older, you maybe realize that there are other options. And there was an entertainment agency representative who commented, quote, influencers require a shorter time to make money, and the output is more immediate than the uncertainty of whether they will make money after the trainee period.
And that's interesting because, yeah, I'm sure a lot of people, like, they could just make it. And that's not that it's that easy, honestly, to be an influencer. You got to put a lot of work in there, too, and be recording videos daily and posting. But a lot of these kids are now on TikTok and Instagram and whatever else social media thing is out there. So I think they have more fun recording things there, and then some of them become famous out of it, rather than, like, think about it, going through the machine, like auditioning, then being a trainee for years, then being part of this group, and you gotta do this and gotta do that. Like, you don't have the freedom to do what you want. As an influencer, you do what you want. Like, it's your account.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting, but
It is.
can't say I didn't see it coming.
Well, I mean, maybe that's why they're gonna try to do all these global
Oh yeah,
taking the K out of K-pop.
Well, because much like the declining fertility rate, what's it called? Declining population of births. I think the same thing is happening in K-pop. So they're just be like, oh, let's Open up the gene pool. Let's go outside. You have the whole world to make a group. You don't have to stick to K-pop, I guess.
Yeah, it's not the same.
I
though.
know. I'm just trying to make
Yeah.
a parallel. All right. Shall we go listen to some songs?
Let's do it. So we're gonna start with Lisa's Rockstar. Neither of us have heard the song or seen the video, and we usually have a hot take on our Blackpink girls. So
Yeah. Well, it's funny though because preamble, you sent me a teaser from her, right? Rockstar. She had like the mullet going on and everything, and you were just like, oh, and I was like, is that a good or a bad and you were
it
like,
was it was an
yeah. Thank you for clarifying. So it was interesting. I'm curious. Let's see how it is, and what you think.
All right.
I really like it.
I actually liked it too.
Oh my god, like the song was really fucking catchy. The Japanese part, I was like, what does this have to do with it? But then I was like, hi, like I was singing along to it in my head. I was like, this shit is fucking catchy. Her dance moves are on point. The music video is like fucking hot. It's like amazing the way it moves. It's just everything about it. Love.
I mean, I'm not that amped about it, but I did like it.
I don't know. I'm amped. I really like it. And the whole time I was thinking, I'm like, out of all the girls, like, I just realized all of her solos, like, pump me. Maybe I'm more of a Lisa girl. Like, they just pump me up more and they're more my vibe. Like, Jennie, I'm like, I just feel like she tries too hard. Rosie, whatever her name is. She's great. I love her voice, but I don't think her songs are my vibe. They just feel out like slower, ballady like. And then Jisoo's like, okay, like meh. So Lisa's my girl.
I mean, Lisa was always my Blackpink bias, so
There we go. And she filmed in Thailand. I love that. And she had so many close-ups of Thai people. I don't know if you noticed. And I felt like there was a part of the dance that she did some hand movement that like kind of looked familiar with like Thai traditional dancing. So I love that she was bringing all of that out.
yeah. I mean, honestly, even though it is stuck in my head, like, Lisa, can you teach me Japanese? I was like,
Hi.
I'm still like, what? That's,
Maybe she knows Japanese. I mean, who are we to judge?
I
And
mean, I
people,
hope
people
she
have been
does.
asking her to teach her.
I hope she does, because if she's saying that and she doesn't, that's,
Stop trying to make it problematic, all right?
hey.
All right, let's go on to Red Velvet, who I've had the song on fucking repeat, like, because I constantly turn on Spotify the new music K-pop just to keep in, touch of like what's coming out. So like, and the moment it came on, I was like, oh, I like this song. I was like, wow, what are they doing with this? And I immediately messaged you, Robyn. I was like, have you listened to their new song? And you had watched the music video, but it's fresh for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've seen the music video multiple times, including this morning. So
Oh, multiple times. I mean, I love the song, so it wouldn't have disappointed anyways. But I got goosebumps at some point. It's so beautiful, so red velvet. They all look so gorgeous. One of the comments made me laugh so hard. I don't know if you saw it. The first comment where it goes, the director said, "Come back midsummer," but Red Velvet heard, "Come back midsummer."
So yeah, if you
funny.
haven't seen the music video, which I highly recommend you watch, it does reference the movie Midsummer. I have not seen that movie, but I somehow knew
It's
anyway
way
because it seemed like if you know of the movie, you kind of get that.
yeah. Well, the stuff that they do in the movie, I think, are part of like the midsummer festivals that happen in Sweden anyways. Just the movie takes a scary turn to it.
Yeah, but it's a beautiful, beautiful video. And I've actually never listened to the song without the video. I've only watched the music video. So it will forever just be connected for me.
Oh, yeah, no, I listen to the song all the time. It's just such a beautiful song. Like I can't get rid of it like in my head right now. It might be one of my top favorites for this. Not might be, it will be. Like I love it. They never disappoint. They never
Yeah,
disappoint.
sometimes it takes me a little bit to warm up to their songs. And this one too, I think. The first time I heard it, I was like, it's a little.
Oh, I think I think I'm a Red Velvet stan then, because it just what was holding you back from it?
It's a pretty song. I'm usually
Mm-hmm.
not drawn, like, I'm not a pretty song girl. Like, you know,
Okay, I like
you
that.
with your
Okay,
50-50,
I'm not a pretty
you with
song
your
girl.
50-50 Cupid, and I was like, oh God, Olivia.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. Yeah, I'm a pretty song girl then. I get it.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
All right.
All right. You've been so excited to show me
I
WOOAH,
don't,
so
I don't know about so excited. I want your,
you have
well,
been.
I want your opinion. So, WOOAH,
Okay.
for anybody who doesn't know, if you're not a hardcore fan of the podcast, WOOAH is one of my, if not my favorite existing, like currently active girl groups. Fucking love them. They
Set the
have
bar
never
high.
disappointed me.
Okay.
But are you familiar with them at all? Do you know any of their songs?
Yes. I put a gun to my head. I can't name one, but I've definitely heard one, I'm sure, in the past and when they first came out.
Okay. So we're gonna take a look at their latest music video, Pom
Let's do
Pom
it.
Pom. Let's go.
Okay.
Pom pom, I'm cheering me on. Ain't nobody is rooting for me. There's at least one. Pom pom, my game is mad strong. 이 큰 게임의 주인공은 only me. 날 믿어주길 바래. 나를 원하는 shadow. I'm cracking those right
Okay.
What you think?
I like the song. There was just something that, like, in the beginning, it didn't attract me as much because I was like, I just felt the rapping was a bit like, I wasn't impressed. But then the song really grew on me. I think it's a really fun song that, like, it would really hype me up and I'd love to, like, work out in the gym with it. But it didn't, like, I don't know, it didn't grasp me from the beginning. Like, I felt like it was something I've heard before.
Well,
What?
I had never been disappointed in their release until now. No.
Oh.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. And it kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier. It was like, oh, I wish the groups could, like, change their concepts up and, like, do whatever. But no, they shouldn't have changed their concept
Oh,
up. They
this is a
shouldn't
new concept. What do they usually do?
Oh, they're usually, it's cute, like, schoolgirl kind of
Ah, okay.
type of stuff. But here's the thing is that I don't want to hold it against them, but at the same time, if G Idol released a song, I would lose my mind and be like, this is song of the year. I fucking love it. It's so great.
You know why I felt it sounded familiar? It reminded me of Queen Card in certain areas. And I was like, you're trying to be them.
Yeah, it would have been amazing as a G Idol song.
It's like they just couldn't, like, fit into the shoes of the concept that they're trying to accomplish.
Yeah, it feels
Yeah.
awkward. And it feels awkward even without the video, just listening to the song. Like their voices, I don't feel can carry a song
Yeah.
with that. Like,
Well, that's what I'm saying. The rapping in the beginning just sounded like, and I felt bad saying this, but now that you feel the same way, it sounded elementary. I'm like, it felt like the rapping you do where you're like, I'm a rapper in this K-pop group, but you're not really a rapper. You just like do it. It just didn't match the vibe. And then I felt that like, okay, like I'm not buying it. As the song went on though, it was like, oh, okay, it's a fun song, but like that's kind of where it stopped.
yeah. So
We agree.
bummer.
It's okay. It's all right. You know, two out of three. 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
They can't all be winners.
Exactly.
All right. Well, that was fun.
Yes, it really was. I had a lot of fun today.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about anything like
Sad?
horrible
Yeah,
or sad. Yeah.
because we've been talking about horrible things like the last 3 episodes.
I know.
It's time to move on.
It is. All right. Well, thank you for tuning in today, everyone. Make sure to follow us on Instagram and YouTube at K-Pop Hot Sheet and rate us on Apple Music and Spotify if you enjoyed the show. Make sure to turn notifications on Spotify by clicking the bell icon if you want to be notified of new episodes when they're uploaded. We are still going to try to work towards our goal of 24 episodes by the end of this year.
We're going to do it.
We are going to do it. And maybe next time we should do our Melon mid-year review.
Oh my God, it's already time for a mid-year. Yes.
It is.
Well, I feel like I already know what's going to win, but, you know, it's okay. I'm not going to spoil anything. Let's do it.
All right. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.